I'm Tabea. I'm 47 years old, born and raised in Papua New Guinea. Grew up there, then went to Switzerland to do my studies, live in Switzerland, now married to Matthias with 3 kids, actually young adults. Basically, my whole life is a movement. I move all day, every day. I have a dog, I walk him a lot, but I also love movement flow. I stretch a lot, I run, I surf when I'm close to the ocean. I kite surf when there's wind. I'm a lot on my bicycle. I just love moving. I met a prostitute face to face, and that was really what triggered owning the whole problem. Because I think if you hear about any injustice in the world, you can look it in the eye and you can turn away, or you can look at it and then just have this encounter that just doesn't leave you. And it was when I met a prostitute face to face. I actually had my daughter in a wrap. She was 6 weeks old, and this woman just approached me and she asked if she could kiss my baby. And I was like, who is this woman? What am I doing here? And I just let her in. And then she just poured out her whole story, how she had been taken advantage of in a very vulnerable situation. She wanted a job, desperately wanted a job. She was promised something in Switzerland. She came from South America. And then she said, I woke up to a nightmare. I was promised a dream and it was a nightmare. And these eyes and just the whole encounter with her never left me. And that really moved me. Me and my husband founded a social business actually as an answer to that whole encounter that I had with this woman, something where people could come into who disadvantaged, who have no chance in life, give them a job. So we founded KitePride, took broken, discarded, old kites and turned them into bags, turned them into something new and beautiful. Second chance for kites and people. And these people receive training, empowerment to work on a job that they're proud of. So the whole name, KitePride, we used kites and we gave them a new sense of pride. I was just unstoppable after that encounter with that woman. It just didn't leave me. I think it was also the mother hormones going. There was so much more than care. There was really a passion to eradicate this injustice of exploitation of women bought and sold, when I thought, I'm living in a century where I thought modern day slavery had been abolished. And here it was in my face. And I couldn't stand the fact that there are so many women, men, children, anything, you name it, just being used as commodities. I just felt like I need to do something. And he saw that. He actually babysat the kids a lot of times for me to go into brothels and really have more and more encounters with people, because I'm always about being hands-on. At the end of the day, you need to ask questions. What do you need? He's way more strategic than I am. Basically kind of cleaned up behind me. He was like, have you thought of that? Have you thought of that? And then I said, look, you need to come on board. I actually need you to build this business. But we really complement each other. And that's how we joined. Running a business with your hubby just adds to the challenges of being a couple, being married, but a lot of communication. I always say you can't over communicate, and also set up boundaries. I mean, the struggle is real. You get home in the evening, both are tired from what you're doing. And then it's like, oh, wait, and because both of us are passionate about it, it really is not just a job. We're constantly talking about it. So I really had to set up boundaries whenever we go on a date. We're not talking about KitePride, about our nonprofit. It's just you and me, and it's the family. Oh, wow. I think everyone knows everything about Swiss people because they're just so known for their quality, for everything being perfect, at least from the outside. But maybe what people don't know is that once you know them, their word is a word. They really, really follow through with what they say. They won't promise something and not deliver. And this is something that I think you oversee if you just come as a tourist. They might seem a bit cold, always on the go, super fast, focused, not really looking around. But at the same time, they're very, very generous. And again, their word is a word. That's a hard one. It's actually sentences. When I raised my kids, I always asked them, whenever they wanted to do something very daring, I would ask them, do you feel safe? And I would kind of like throw the question back at them, because that brings you immediately into self-reflection. Obviously not if they're balancing over something very dangerous and they don't see the danger, but just like jumping from a high place, but it's safe. They can jump into water and like, can I jump from there? Do you feel safe? Have you checked everything? It's just really teaching them a lot of self-reflection. There was this funny thing in Switzerland, you know, if you're a bit wild and free, people kind of look at you like, what are you doing? So kids running around up and down, moving trains or swinging around the poles, it's like a no-go. I let my kids do it. And I was like, you know, if they fall, they'll just hurt, they might just have a bump somewhere, but it's not dangerous. So it's like, don't tame them, just let them be kids. The third thing is definitely just like be truthful at all times. I always say to my kids, don't lie at me, I'll know anyway. And that's something that is just, if you go through life being truthful, you're set up. Yeah, prostitution is so huge that you just think, what does me helping one person really do? Or does it really make a difference? But it's really about that one baby step at a time. It's one drop in a bucket, 2 drops in a bucket. It might take way longer, but you just have to see the one. And that helps me. And every one person is somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, somebody's mother even. And just knowing that and just taking it one baby step at a time, that's the only thing that really makes you or keeps you going. Yeah, there's a lot of discouragement, especially when you've given your all for somebody and you realize that they want to, but they somehow can't. They just don't find the strength to really step out of the cycle, even though there aren't many examples that I have. But when you've given everything and then you feel like you don't see any difference, that can really, really discourage you. But you just really have to see the one. Again, the one that is successful, the one that is moving forward, the one that is now completely independent. Actually, it was funny. My mum was the first one to donate. I had a conversation with her that I wanted to start a nonprofit, and she was like, okay, I'll be the first one to donate. And it really started with a small group of women. I started to talk about the issue and everyone was like, we can't do anything. And I said, yes, we can. We can do a secondhand sale. Everybody brings their clothes. We ask for an entry. Then it moved on to small fundraising events. One of the fundraising events that we did was running in high heels. Why in high heels was to really raise awareness for the fact that, again, by going into brothels and speaking to actual prostitutes, they told me that they had to wear high heels and were not allowed to remove them all day, every day, sometimes 12 hours straight, and they had to stand in those high heels. And it was just so crazy for me to think about it, and that's why they were in so much pain, their backs. And I said, well, everybody runs or does runs here and there, but to actually really raise awareness also for the topic, people will ask, why are you running in high heels? And then you can tell them about the cause. So we had high heels for rent, and even men strapped them to their feet and with duct tape. It was very funny. And kids ran barefoot also to do something completely different. So obviously I didn't want them to run in high heels. It was such a success. I think it's really about, oftentimes we're so focused with our lives, we're so busy doing what we're doing, and we might be overwhelmed too with problems. But I often tell my kids, that's another thing I teach them a lot, is look up, look around. Like, what is in front of my feet? I don't have to fly to the other side of the world or go and build wells or adopt an orphanage or whatever. But I can see the one single mom who's struggling, who needs me to pick up her child because she can't, she's working. It's really about just looking up, looking around, what is in front of my feet, and do that, because otherwise we'll be overwhelmed and then we won't do anything. Nature is life. Nature is breathing. Nature is surfing in high waves, in strong winds. I couldn't live without nature. Anytime I feel stressed, I just go outside. Nature makes me come alive, but especially navigating the elements that you can't control. That's when I feel so small, when I know there's just somebody out there who's in control of this nature and I can just submit to it. become one with it. Huge waves scare me. Strong winds, kite surfing, you just feel so small. Ripple is nature. Ripple breathes with me. It lets me move freely. I'm such a free person. I want to feel like nothing's restraining me. And even though it hugs your body, it just feels so free because you can feel that it's natural, that it's organic, that it breathes, that it gives life. I love the values that Ripple Yoga Wear has. I love that it's sustainable, it's small, it's a group of women wanting just one thing: to empower another woman, to make her feel free and whole. You just love wearing it. It grows with you, you feel. It just shows that you can be who you are. I just love it. So anyone who wants to buy KitePride, there's a 20% discount for you. You can check in the captions, kitepride.shop.